I was recently asked how it all started, and there's more than one story. There's a few realizations, a few moments, but this was really the biggest, maybe at least one of the biggest ahas that started it all. And so, when and where? I was in my 20s, early 20s, just graduated from college, living with my dad. I didn't have a job yet, folding jeans at a department store as a gig in Cleveland, Ohio. And found a meditation group. I had found a book, and so meditation was, this was actually before meditation was a big thing, at least definitely in Cleveland, Ohio, a long time ago in the galaxy, far, far away. And so I'm going there, and I had really cut down drinking, a lot in college, but I still went out and drank sometimes. So I'm connecting with and it was kind of funny because the meditation group were all much older people. So when I met the meditation teacher guy, I don't know, he was like in the 40s, and I was in my mid 20s. And he was like, I don't know, are you too young? Are you taking this serious? And I was like, dude, I'm in, right? So we talked and we met, and he's like, all right, cool. So anyhow, so we go every Wednesday night, and a few times I go to him, hey, you want to go drinking this weekend? And he looked at me and he goes, do you still drink? And I was like, damn, I got to give this up. And in a way, it wasn't a big shock, right? Because meditation is about increasing awareness and higher consciousness, and alcohol and drugs are actually taking consciousness away, right? So they're actually directly opposed, or they're opposed to each other. So so I didn't, tell you the truth, when he said that, I was like, I don't even know if I could do that, right? And so I decided to run a test. You may watch my other videos. I like to run tests and see what's possible and what happens. And so I decided to go out with a friend of mine, Rick, actually, and we're gonna go to this local bar, and I decided I'm just not gonna drink and see if I can even do that for the whole night. So I go there and I get a Coca-Cola, and people are like, oh, have a drink, I'll buy you a drink. And I didn't do it. What was amazing was when I got dropped off to come home, there's people, we're gonna go this way, dropped to come home, it was amazing because I remember putting the key in the door, and I wasn't leaning against the door. It was easy to go inside the house, and then I went to sleep, right? So it was so noticeably different that I actually noticed it. But the more important and the far bigger thing, and this is the aha, this is what literally changed my life, was I got up the next morning and I felt great. I got up at like 9 in the morning, great sleep. Usually I'd get up at like 11 and have a hangover until 1 or 2, right? But I got up 9 o'clock, felt great. I look over, just purchased a computer, and these were just on the market way back when, right? Post typewriter situation. And I was working on this story, and I wrote for 2 hours on this story that I really enjoyed. And I had a blast. I had so much fun doing it. And all of a sudden I realized, oh my gosh, I may never totally get drunk again in my life. Because what I did and what we had, and the joy, and it was literal joy, of writing was so much better than my drinking, plus minus all of the incredible pain, might be a strong word, but the pain of the hangover. So back then I did not put the words trading your addictions for creativity together, but that's exactly where a large part of it all started. Was I was trading my addictions, my everyday addictions of drinking, to, let's do this makes more sense. for creativity, my creativity. And when I work with people, it doesn't have to be writing, it doesn't have to be painting. Sometimes it's guitar playing, sometimes it's cooking, sometimes it's poetry, sometimes it's gardening. But the very fact of creating is more fun and gives more life to a person than consuming. So one statement I've come up with and often talk about is creating is more fun than consuming, right? Also, if you ever explore the book Overcoming Addictions by Deepak Chopra, he explains or shares a story about a young woman. I think it was heroin. It was some kind of big time drug though. And he helps her get clean, or she goes to rehab. And then the next day or the next week or whatever, he takes her horseback riding because she loves horseback riding. Guess if she had money to use heroin, maybe she had money for horses, maybe. So she goes horseback riding, and then they meet in his office, and he says, you can have one of these. You can have heroin or you can have horseback riding, but you can't have both. And when I read that, like a decade later, after my own experience myself, I was like, that's exactly it. People can be drunk, high, heroin, whatever their addiction of choice is, or they can be creative in the world and create more of what they truly want and what they truly like. So today, do I still drink? I do. And it's a lot less. Like maybe now it's down to like a couple beers, a couple drinks every 6 months. And it's not because I shouldn't and it's wrong and it's bad. It's more of there's so much more going on in my life that's more enjoyable and more fun. Like this last Thanksgiving, I had a beer with a friend, and that was great. One beer. And of course, nice summer days when it's nice and hot. It was a good time. But anyhow, I mentioned all that. Wish you well. If you're intrigued, something for you to ponder. Ciao.